Well, hello Stampers, this is Kate with Kate's Creations. I haven't had a video up in a while, but you know, the goal isn't to overwhelm you, but to bring you special things and maybe share a tip or trick or two. But I've been working with my Glowforge laser cutter, doing a lot of wood projects too. I have to show you. These are my Plaid Pumpkins that I made. They stand up and can sit on the shelf, and you can have this side or you can just do plain. Isn't that cute? So I've been doing some of that and making some other things. I was just kind of looking around to see what I might have I could share with you. I also did these pumpkins that have designs, and that's cute. So anyway, I've been kind of busy doing some things like that because I like to make favors to give people, and along with the cards I make as well. But today I have two cards for you that I'm going to share, and I can show them to you, and then we'll go through how we made them. This is one. Isn't that lovely? I just love it, and I'll go through what we're using to make each one, and then I made this one. So let's start with this one. This one is using the Rustic Pumpkins dies. They coordinate with the Hello Harvest stamp set, and these are in the current mini catalog on page 50, which is where you see the stamp set, and you can see the dies as well, I believe, on that page. So anyway, that's we're going to start with, and we're using these two dies here, this leaf die, or stem die I should say, and then these three little stem dies there. Okay, so we're using those, and I am using the sentiment from Soft Seedlings, this Thinking of You sentiment right here, and I'm using this Stitched Greenery die. I just love this die, it's so pretty. And I'm using the Deckled Rectangle dies. Okay, so those are the dies and stamp sets and such that I'm using. The colors here, the base card is very vanilla. It's 5.5 by 8.5. The layer that I embossed with the Stitched Leaves die was cut at 4.25 by 5.5. It was then cut out using the Deckled Rectangle dies, and I used the largest die for that, and I actually cut it out first and then embossed it. Just, I don't know if it makes a difference, but that's what I did. Okay, and then the pumpkins are Crushed Curry, Pumpkin Pie, Mango Melody, and Old Olive for the stems and the little sprigs there. So let's just go ahead and make it so you can kind of see. I've done all the work. My paper keeps sliding. I've done all the work off camera here and have it ready. So it won't take very long to show you. Just a little tip when you score your cards. I actually, you know, I cut using our Stampin' Trimmer, and it's fine. It's perfect. It works well. But when I score with that, I have a tendency to not get it real accurate. So I've been using my Stampin' Up! Score board, and I score my cards with that, and I get a truer fold. If you don't have one, there's lots of ones out there. I don't think it's available anymore, but there's lots of other ones out there that you can use. If you don't have one, I'd recommend getting it. If you're fussy about your folds and you want your edges to match really nicely, you're going to get a better match if you do that. And then when you're folding, you have an indented side and a raised side on the score mark. Fold it towards the indented side and burnish it, and that'll get it to lay down nicely. Okay, then like I said, I cut this piece from Very Vanilla Regular. The base is Very Vanilla Thick, and this is Very Vanilla Regular, and I embossed it then with that Stitched Greenery die. And I'm going to just attach it flat with my Stampin' Seal. Yeah, it's hard to see that it's on there, but it is. Okay, and then when I'm placing my pieces, I have a tendency to hold it like this and lay down just the corners and get like all three sides to where they look like they're pretty much the same, and then I can lay it in place. I just seem to have really good luck with that. So there's that. Now, building our little pumpkins is really super easy. They're embossed. You can tell which side to use. Got a nice little embossing pattern on there. I did the wider. You'll have to forgive my paint on my finger. That is just paint. I was painting a project and I can't get the paint off, so you'll apologize for that horrible look on my finger. This is wider at the bottom, and this is and wider at the bottom, and so it's going to go on like this, okay? But I'm going to put each of these on with dimensionals because I want them to be raised up. I'll get my dimensionals out here. I am so spoiled. I have a wonderful craft room, and where my desk is, I have one of those rolling drawers that has 10 drawers on rollers, and it slides under the right hand side of my desk, and it has all my quick grab essentials in it. My tape stuff and is in the top drawer, and my clear blocks are in the second drawer, and in the third drawer are all of my adhesive options, and it sure makes it easy to just grab them. Okay, so now we're going to just put these on here, and I did it so there'd be kind of a 3 bump at the bottom. Okay, does that make sense? Just like that. I need to tape down my paper, don't I? And here, like I say, on my videos, you get the real thing here. I don't edit and I don't correct. If I make a mistake, you get to watch me fix it. I, for some reason, did not cut 3 of these stems. I must have been daydreaming or something when I prepared the kit. These little leaves have just some little chads in them that need to go away. We're going to get rid of those. And that's okay, because I'm going to go ahead and just finish the card with what I've got, and then you know that we can add that later. Add those other pieces. And I have another finished card to show you anyway. So, okay. So, for the stem, what I did, at least I have one so I can show you, is I took a glue dot, and these are some that I have left over from a previous paper pumpkin kit. They come in pretty handy. And I'm going to put this down here on this wider portion, just right in the middle of this wider portion of the stem. And it just needs one right in the middle. And then you can just tuck it under behind that top layer. And you can put it down as far as you want, and that's something to remember. I'm going to pull this up a little bit. That's something to remember when you're putting on your dimensionals on these pieces, is that you want to stay far enough down from the top, which I didn't, so I'm going to fix it. Like I say, you get to see me make my mistakes. Fortunately, it pulled right up, and I moved this further down so that when I put it together, this will slide under easily. And you can leave it so it shows just a little bit of green on each side, or you can push it down further, but there puts the stem on it. Okay, and you would do that with all 3. Then there are 3 of these little stems in there, and each one's just a little bit different, so I cut 1 of each to be used on each of the 3 pumpkins. And I'm going to be using my handy dandy Zig 2-way glue pen because that's what works for me when I'm doing delicate stuff. And I didn't want to put adhesive on the backs of these, which could be done if you were sticking them totally flat. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put each one on here a little different, and it's going to sit on the top one. And I don't want it to stick flat over here. I want it to stay raised up with the piece that I'm sticking it to. So I'm just making note, and I'm going, okay, I want to put glue on this portion. So I'm going to turn it over and put my glue on there and then stick it down. And I can go ahead and do these two, even though I don't have my stem on yet. And you can do them however you want. I think I'm going to turn this one this way. And then this one, get a hold of it. Yeah, I think I'm going to put that one that way. So let's put some glue here. And we'll just put this one on here like this. And it's sticking to me. There we go. And it will dry and be stuck there just fine. And then these I attached to the card front just flat, because when I start mailing, I want to keep the bulk under control so that these will go through the mail without any hassle. I did have a card come back to me the other day, and it was all destroyed because it didn't go through their machine the way it should have. So, okay, so here, like this one, we can put it in the middle. And of course, you can arrange your colors any way you'd like. That's totally up to you. And obviously, you can use your own colors. You could also do some really cool color blending with your blending brushes and bring in some different colors and make your paper first and then cut them out. So you've got like a blended, soft blended color. And I bet that would look really cool. And they don't need to all be straight. I'm going to kind of tilt them just a little bit like that. Oh, you can tell I use this paper for something else on the back. There we go. And I'm going to tuck him under this way, and we'll tilt it like that. Then I wanted the sentiment on there, and again, it's the thinking of you from the Soft Petals, is that what it's called? Soft Seedlings stamp set. And I'm going to stamp it with the Old Olive, so it kind of follows in my color scheme. And the way I did it with the pumpkins, and by the time you get the stems on, there really wasn't room for the sentiment somewhere else. So I'm going to just fussy cut it out and follow the basic lines of the thing, leaving, oh, you know, about 1/8 of an inch maybe, or less, all the way around, just following the design. And it's kind of fun. It leaves it looking kind of neat. You know, you can't have too many dies and stuff, but sometimes, you know, you just gotta go with the flow. And you can't, don't worry about being perfect. Just, you know, just go for it. It will come out fine. I'm going to cut that off, get it out of my way, and turn the corner. Again, you want to look when you're cutting. You want to look where you're going, not where you are. So kind of looking ahead and thinking where you're going to head next kind of helps keep you on track. Here we go, almost there. And I didn't try to go down inside that at all, just there we go. So there's my thinking of you. Now I just attached that flat, and again I'm going to be using that glue pen, And I didn't worry about where it was going to land. I just put enough glue on there to make sure it would stick. And I didn't press it down into the lower portions, obviously. I just touched onto the top pieces, and we'll get it to stick to those so that it stands up just a little bit. Oopsie. Sometimes when there's a lot of moisture outside, it takes glue a little bit longer to stick, and there we go. Get a little bit under that spot, and we'll hold it down for just a second. And so there's the basic idea. I have to go back and cut a couple more stems to finish my card, but you get to see this one finished. Isn't that cute? It was just fun. Super easy fall card. You know, I like to send out cards, not necessarily for Thanksgiving per se, but just, you know, oh, here's fall. I saw the coolest saying the other day, and I made a plaque of it. It said, "Hello, September. You're about to show us that change can be beautiful." Isn't that a neat phrase? I just love it. And so I made up a little plaque using my Glowforge. I don't have it handy or I'd show it to you, but I love the phrase. "Hello, September. Thank you. Thank you that you are about to show us that change can be beautiful." It made me think of Ecclesiastes 3:11, where it says God makes all things beautiful in his time. So that made me think of that. Okay, let's set that stuff aside, and we'll move on to the next card. This is going to be fun. The only supply is different. I'm using the soft seedlings, and I'm using the leaf stamp. I am using get my names up here because I don't want to, the Distressed Gold. This is a very vanilla thick base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. This gold edging that you see, and oh, it's so pretty, is the Distressed Gold Designer Series paper. It's on page 139 of the annual catalog. You get 2 sheets for $5, but it's very beautiful. It'll work awesome for some Christmas cards as well. But boy, does it ever make this fall card gorgeous, doesn't it? I just love it. The little gems you see on here are called Fire Sparkle Adhesive Backed Gems. And there's several colors. Did I leave them out so you could see them? Yes, I did. Here we go. There's the 4 colors: Calypso Coral, Pale Papaya, Pacific Point, and Pool Party. There it is. So it has the 4 colors in there, and I'm using the Calypso Coral ones because they just look so nice with this. And so let's get busy. Let's do that. I got a couple of tricks on that one I want to show you. So again, here's the base. Like I said, very vanilla thick, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We will get my bone folder, here it is, and burnish the edges. Put that away because I'm done with it. And then I took very vanilla regular and the deckled rectangle. And let me show you which one I used. I used this next size down, second one in the sizing, to cut out this rectangle, okay? And that gives me the what I call the art piece, the piece that's going to get stamped. Then I wanted that gold edge, and I loved how it looked, but I didn't want to waste my edging. So I took a regular piece of this distressed gold paper, and I cut it just big enough. I measured this, and I can't pick up anything. I trimmed my fingernails. I can't pick up anything. I measured this and made this piece just large enough. So let me measure it and tell you how big it is. It is 3 7/8. Yeah, 3 7/8 wide by 5 1/4 the other direction. 3 7/8 by 5 1/4, which will make it just big enough to be the border for this piece. Now, I didn't want to just hide that beautiful paper behind this and not use it. I mean, it's, you know, DSP is kind of expensive. There's not a lot of it. So I wanted to save it. So what I did is, this is my original piece, 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. I took this die, that deckled rectangle die, the same size I used to make the art piece, and I placed it onto the gold paper, and I centered it as best as I could, and I cut the center out of it and saved this piece for a future card project. I thought that was pretty clever. I'm sure somebody else has done it many times, but for me, it was kind of a first. Okay, so I have that, and I'll show you how we're going to attach that together in just a moment. Let's make our art piece. I used baby wipes and re-inkers. Now, the re-inkers I used, let me get my list so I don't leave anything out. I used Old Olive, Pumpkin Pie, Rich Razzleberry, Sweet Sorbet, and Mango Melody. And they're all right here. Now, this is yesterday's baby wipe. I left it in here. It's dried out. Obviously, I'm not going to use it again. But I'm going to leave it. I left it in there. And you just take a regular baby wipe, fold it in half, and lay it down. And I left the others in there. It gets just a little more cushion so the stamp will ink better. And then we're going to do this. Now, you just need a few drops, but you do want to make sure that it's large enough that it covers the whole stamp, okay? And don't worry about the drops touching. They will bleed. And come back, and you don't want to overlap your colors too awfully much. Things will get muddy looking. Your colors will get muddy looking. You want them to run into each other, but you don't necessarily want them to overlap all that much. And so I'm staying clear of other places and just adding the color as I go. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I mean, literally, you're just gonna guess and leave some empty spaces so you've got room to put all your colors in. Then you can come back, if you've got white space, you can come back and fill them in with something else. I think that that's going to work. I think that's good enough. So we will set those aside. Now, you can put your stamp on a block and do it that way. I wanted to also say you could do it this way as well. You could put your art piece in here and put your stamp where you want it, set it down, and you could take this and put a glove on and ink it. Okay, so, you know, let's just, these magnets are so strong. So let's do that. Let's put this in here. We'll peel this up off of here. And I'm going to place it on here where I want it to be. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to put my magnets on the corners to hold it down. Now, if you were putting this on a clear block, it'd be super easy. You just pick it up, stamp it on there, stamp it on your paper. I found out that sometimes I don't get a good inking because the baby wipes aren't real spongy like an ink pad would be. Does that make sense? So then this is the way I did it the second time I tried it. So then I'm not trying to get ink all over, although I already have a really inky finger. But you can take and lift this piece up and Oops, let me put my piece over here where it belongs. There we go. So then you could take that piece and you can lay it over it. Oops, there I go, using my fingers, and press it into place and press the color. You don't really want to move it around very much. And let's see how it turned out. You know, either way, this might be more trouble than it's worth. I'll clean my fingers off. One thing nice about the Stamparatus is that, like here, I have some parts that didn't get pressed. Either they didn't get color or they didn't get pressed down well. So I'm going to put them down again, and I can see where they are, and I'm going to press on those specific spots and see if it comes through. No, it needs some ink on those spots. So then I'm just going to take my baby wipe, and let's see, that's going to be this spot and this spot. So we'll just dab it. We'll close it. Oh, a little bit over here too, on this spot. One thing nice about the Stamparatus too is that you don't have to worry about getting ink on your edges, because it only lets you push down straight and flat. And there we go, that fixed it. And isn't that just gorgeous? So, you know, and then you can just save that, and you can use it multiple times, because it's going to stay damp for quite a while, and you can make multiple cards with it. I'm going to be doing this card with my workshop ladies on Friday. So, and today is Tuesday. So I'm just going to clean up my fingers, my glove, and set it aside like that. And let's get this piece out of there. And we can set that aside. So you can do it either way, but I wanted to show you the way I did it with the Stamparatus. You can just do it with your block. Maybe put a piece of foam under your stamp when you actually end up stamping it. Maybe that would make a difference. I'm not sure. But anyway, there it is. Then I just used the same Thinking of You stamp. I'm going to clean it up from the last time I used it. And we'll bring back that piece of baby wipe, and we're going to just, you don't want to move your stamp all over. If you do, you're going to muddy your colors. So just stamp it, press it good, call it good. And I'm just going to put it right here. Another reason why the Stamparatus works well. And looky there, I got a little mark. We may have to do something there. We'll see. Okay. Beautiful colors, though. Aren't they just gorgeous? I love them. Okay. Now, to attach it to this, what I did is I turned it over, and I used my Zig 2-way glue pen, and I put a bead of glue right next to the edge. Come on. There we go. Maybe I'm running out of glue. There we go. All the way around. Needs to be a fairly good-sized bead, because otherwise it'll dry out so fast you don't get it on the card, because it does dry pretty quickly. But it gives you a little bit of leeway. So it's just all the way around the edge. Here we go, getting a hold of my thing again. Doesn't matter there. And then, of course, the idea is to just get it on here so that the border's pretty much equal all the way around. And that looks pretty darn good, I think. Yeah. There we go. It's stuck. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, that gold just makes that card so rich and so gorgeous. And then this is just going to go onto the card front flat. You could dimensionalize it if you're in the mood to. I ran my Stamp and Seal. Sometimes the Stamp and Seal acts up to the inside instead of over the top of this, so that it doesn't like pull it back up. And again, just getting that to where it looks like, and then the final corner, and there we go. And there's card number 2. Isn't that cool? So there we go. Oh, and then I added some of those beautiful gems. Where did my gems go? And since I'm using these, I used up all my small ones. Oh, I used the pale papaya for these. That's right. I'd forgotten. I did not use the Calypso coral. So here they are. Trusty poke tool. These are the bigger ones, but they're still going to be absolutely gorgeous because you get 2 sizes of each color. And where you place those is totally up to you. I usually place at least 3. That's kind of this feng shui, whatever, however they say it thing, that just draws the eye into the picture. And so there's that. Oh, and I had one other thing. On my original card, I took that seed piece stamp and I went up the side. And then after I did it, I go, I didn't really care for that. Didn't do a lot for me. I felt like it detracted from the elegance of the front of the card. So what I decided to do instead was to put a strip of this lovely distressed gold paper on the inside of the card. And again, just using my Zig pin. And I just put it up the side. Now you can put it up where it's right to the edge, or you can leave a little bit of an edge, and that's what I decided to do, was to leave a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch or so. And I cut it just a little bit too long, so I've got to trim that off. Find my scissors, which have managed to disappear. It happens to me all the time. Surely it happens to you too. I was telling someone the other day that at the age I am, my brain is full. So when I start adding new things, something has to give and something goes away. So that's, I don't have forgetfulness. I'm just sorting my memories. Okay, so then I put that on the inside, and I thought that was much more elegant and carried the theme to the inside of the card. Okay, so now that is the last of it. Sorry for the moving around in my paper. Next time I make one, I'll fasten it down. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave me a comment. I love to hear from you, and it just inspires me and encourages me. So I'd love to have you do that. If you haven't subscribed to my blog, I invite you to do so. Well, I don't have a blog, my YouTube channel. I don't do a blog anymore, but I just do the YouTube channel. And so subscribe, and then you'll get to see future projects. And there'll be some more coming because Christmas is just around the corner. We'll see you soon.